Hello, this is Bob Cooke here from the Manchester Institute for Psychotherapy, and I've got Rory Lees-Oakes who's here, and he's going to talk about the various courses and programs that he's attended throughout the years at the Manchester Institute for Psychotherapy. So over to you, Rory. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, okay, yeah, nice to meet you again, Bob, on these many videos that we do.
Yeah, we've done a lot now. So
we've done a few, haven't we?
We sort of reverse positions here. I'm talking to you.
It does, it feels, yes, I'm being interviewed. I've attended, I think, 3 of the major courses that you run.
Yeah, I know
outside the psychotherapy training.
Yeah.
And I did the supervision course.
Yes, that's the 5-day one over 4 months, which I teach.
That's right, and I attended that one a few years ago now.
Yes, it gave you a certificate.
Got a certificate, and it also gave me, a huge amount of confidence to be able to effectively supervise my learners and people who want supervision.
Yeah, it's the most popular course we do here. It's a course which is for people who are interested in supervision, people who supervise, people who refresh their skills. So it's a good course that you went on.
Yeah, and I enjoyed it, and I met colleagues from many different professions. What really surprised me, I guess, was that it wasn't just people from the psychotherapy and counselling profession. It was someone who was a care visitor, I seem to remember, who came on, and there's 2 psychologists who came on, and I think there was a social worker.
Yeah.
I think there was a social worker on that particular course. It was a few years ago. So it was really interesting to see how the model of supervision fits lots of different disciplines.
Can be used clinically, organisationally, educationally, in counselling. It's quite a generic term, supervision.
It is. It is, and I use the model now, and I got a lot out of it, and I still do.
Good, great. And then of course you've done I know you've recently. I say recently. We're going to be about a year ago. You've done that child and adolescent certificate that Amanda Phillips and Stephanie Cooke. Amanda and Steph run.
And I'm a school counsellor. That's my major practice life outside teaching, and it's one I recommend to my learners. We have some learners who counsel at a school already, and I recommend them to come on it because it gives a whole sense of what it's like to work in a child or young person's world, which is considerably. I mean, everybody's unique, but it's considerably different to maybe an adult approach. And just to be taught by 2 people who are just so knowledgeable in the field.
Oh, they are.
I mean, that was the key thing. When choosing courses, I know that we know each other, but when it comes to choosing courses,
that's right.
I'm always thoughtful of the quality, and I just really enjoyed that. And it was a really interesting course, and I every day that I'm in practice at the school, I'm always using 1 or 2 of the things that I've learned.
Yeah, and they're 2 really experienced people. Wow, they go a long way back in child and adolescent studies.
Yes.
And I know Stephanie has done many videos on that, and they have a website, childtherapyworld.com, which I know you know about, which has quite a lot of interesting books on and things like that. But no, that's taught again over about 5 months, 1 day a month, and it's another very popular course. It was really full when I did it, and it was a very busy course, and so that's what I recommend. And then recently, I think just this year, I did the bereavement course with the bereavement certificate yes, it was in loss and bereavement certificate, isn't it?
Yeah.
With Karen, who comes here, never really experienced person, trained in Gestalt psychotherapy, integrative psychotheracy, works as a psychotherapist for adoption. After adoption, and knows so much in that area. that's another popular certificate we do.
Well, again, that was a very busy course. And,
of course, yeah.
You know, and I would say the numbers, you know, in terms of numbers, there wasn't a huge amount of numbers. I think there was a maximum of about 6.
Wow. Oh, on that particular one, there was, I can tell you actually, exactly, there was 9 of you. Right. I'll tell you why I know that. Because you all kindly gave your permission to be photographed.
Oh, yes. Yes.
That particular group, might be more, 10 actually, that particular group, if you go onto our website, the Manchester Institute for Psychotherapy website, mcpt.co.uk, as you get to the homepage, there's a picture of your whole group.
There is, it's true. It's true.
So I know there's about 9 or 10.
Yeah. But it was really, really good. And as someone who teaches myself, I'm really appreciative of the approach, and I'm really appreciative of how the learning's delivered. I've been on courses that have been, shall we say, a little disappointing from other providers that have been more about it being teacher-centred as opposed to learner-centred, and that's something that, you know, in other words, the teacher kind of pontificated and talked about their experience, but didn't kind of ask what our experience was, and that's always, I think, a little disappointing.
We here will always have an experiential thread running through the teaching. That's very important for me. So all our trainers will do demonstration work and will teach experientially, as well as didactic knowledge, of course. So you're always going to get that here. Sure.
And didactic is self-taught, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's very much often teaching information from a board or from books, and not including the other. It's not bilateral in the teaching.
Indeed. So, and I've been to a couple. You know, I think you're starting to run them again, Bob. The seminars on the Friday.
Oh yes, we've run them. We started this institute in 1988.
Wow.
And in 1993, we started these seminars off. First Friday of every month, and we ran them till 2010. That's a lot.
Yes.
Then we had a break, and then we started it again 2011 for about a year. And the person who was hosting them couldn't do that anymore, so we stopped them. But by popular demand, we've started them up again.
Right.
And they start up on September. They're the first Friday every month. They're for 2 hours, £10 on the door. And you get all sorts of various subjects and people teaching.
Sure.
I'm doing the one, Don't Shoot the Messenger. It's about doing an object relations and transaction analysis.
Sure.
Then Stephanie's doing the one in October on brain research. And the one in November is me again, talking about how to deal with the vulnerable self in psychotherapy. The one in December is a hypnotherapist who's coming along to talk about their practice. We've got Karen Burke in February talking about Gestalt psychotherapy, I think.
Sure.
And then we've got somebody, maybe the one in January is on dreams. Might even get you perhaps to come do one on client-centered counselling.
Yeah.
So it's 2 hours where anybody who's interested in psychotherapy world, whether they're teaching it, whether they just want to know about therapy, can come along in an informal setting to the Manchester Institute. It's so popular that I said we've got a whole year's of them. If you go to the website, they're all there.
Yeah. And what really struck me when I came to 2, I can remember the Ginograms one.
Oh yeah, on your website.
There was another one that I can't kind of remember now. Yeah. But what really struck me was it wasn't just psychotherapists, it was members of interested members of the public. And people who just thought, I don't want to do a course, but I just like to know a little bit about
flavour.
Flavour of it. And it was £10, and 10 quid for 2 hours, £5 an hour. That's not even kind of.
That's why we put it at that level, so people wouldn't be put off by the cost, and also it's accessible then to most of the population. Yeah,
one of the things that I'd say, Bob, is that my tutor recommended you.
Good.
Ali, if she's watching. I'm sure she doesn't know if she is.
Thank you.
She was very impressed, and And I think to come from another tutor is quite a high recommendation.
Yeah, and of course, well, you're now going to be teaching yourself here. You're going to be teaching a counselling concepts course starting in middle of September.
I am, yes, on a Saturday morning, and we're going to do the 10-week taster introduction to counselling concepts, which I've taught for years.
Yes, at your own college.
At my own college, and what I particularly like about the concepts course is it really kind of starts people's interest off.
Yeah.
You know, it's really I call it the seed
it's
bed.
It's the first step in many ways.
It is. And people can come and they can commit for a short period of time. 10 weeks is not a lot, you know, it's just 10 weeks. But they can kind of get a flavour of counselling and psychotherapy, and get a little tool bag of tools.
That's right.
To take away.
I mean, as I think about your history, I mean, I know you've done a lot of the certificates here, but I know also, or I think, that you've been on some of the continuing professional developmental 1-day or 2-day courses that we've done over the years.
Yeah. I did yes, you're right, I did the TA coaching.
Yeah.
You're right, you did. I did the TA coaching, which I thought was brilliant, and that was done by Valerie...
was it the Australian person?
Yeah.
From Valerie Redmond.
Who came from Adelaide. And that was really good. I really enjoyed that. And I was with
that's some years ago.
It was some years ago.
2009.
Was it?
Yeah.
And I remember that I was with lots of life coaches. So that was a different experience again, applying knowledge, but not in a therapeutic way, but in a kind of life coaching way.
That's right, I remember. Did you also do the 101 Introduction to Transactionality, which I teach and have been taught for 30 years now? Yeah. But I do it 4 or 5 times now, don't I?
Yeah, and that was with Valerie Redmond as well. And I did the first of the TA 101 courses, which was really, really interesting, because obviously at my college I did teach a TA module, so that was really good to kind of refresh my knowledge and to get real expert knowledge on it, not just kind of from a book.
So you've really sort of taken a lot of courses in. I know you're very knowledgeable. I know when I listen to you on all the different videos and talk to you here, of course, I know how knowledgeable you are. So, you know, it's been very nice that you've come and enhanced your knowledge here. And, of course, I've got to know you over the years.
That's true, yeah. And one of the other things that I like, Bob, is you've got never-ending tea bags.
And even better over the years, I've now got mugs saying the Manchester Institute.
It's true.
With the picture of the Institute printed on the mug, just for you.
Yeah, well, I'm sure. Thank you so much, Bob. I'm very touched. But yeah, and it's a fun collegial atmosphere. It's, you know, everybody meets people, and I tell you what, they're really good for. They're really good for networking, meeting other people and exchanging ideas, and I certainly have done that.
Well, I've always over the years had a really important philosophy around education, and that's to create a centre of excellence where we can inform our knowledge together.
Yes, and that really comes through, I think, in everything that's done here.
Well, great talking to you, and let all the good work continue.
I think so.
Thank you.
Should we get another cup of tea?
Yeah, let's get another tea. Thank you.
Thank you.